The movie begins with a tense and chaotic street scene in Cape Town, South Africa, where a man named Tobin Frost is secretly meeting an MI6 agent named Wade to collect a highly sensitive storage device. To keep it hidden, Frost slips into a nearby restroom and injects the device directly into his own body. The moment he steps back outside, someone launches a surprise attack on him. Frost takes the attacker down without much effort, drawing on the kind of combat experience that only comes from years at the top of the CIA's field operations. But more danger is waiting outside. Frost spots the threat, strips off his jacket, and quickly forces it onto a random bystander. Snipers open fire the moment that man steps through the door. When the body drops and they realize it is not Frost, it is already too late. Frost and Wade jump into a car and try to make a run for it. The mercenary team tracks them down almost immediately and opens fire with precision, hitting Wade. Frost floors the accelerator but loses control and crashes into two oncoming vehicles. A street protest is unfolding nearby, and Frost disappears straight into the crowd. The mercenaries pick up his trail again within seconds, and the chase continues on foot through the city. Running out of options, Frost spots the American consulate ahead and makes a calculated decision. He walks in and turns himself in. This is where we meet Matt Weston, a young CIA agent who has been sitting in Cape Town for nearly a year with one assignment: supervise a safe house that the agency has not used even once since he arrived. Matt is trained, sharp, and completely wasted in a job that gives him nothing to do. Outside of work, he is in a relationship with a French woman named Anna, who is about to return to France. He has been pushing his supervisor David for a reassignment to Paris, but David keeps shutting him down. No field experience means no real missions. Matt argues that he cannot build experience from inside an empty building.
How am I supposed to get more experience? I'm staring at four walls all day.
David tells him to wait 4 months. Then the call comes in. A high-value asset is being brought to the safe house within minutes. Matt immediately snaps into action, calls Anna, and cancels their plans with a quick excuse, then secures every corner of the safe house before the convoy arrives. When the CIA team finally pulls up and escorts the asset inside, Matt freezes. The man walking through his door is Tobin Frost, the most wanted former CIA operative on the planet. Someone the agency has been hunting for 10 years and could never find, who has now simply walked in and surrendered on his own. Nothing about it feels right to Matt.
That's Tobin Frost.
The team leader, CIA agent Daniel Kiefer, wastes no time and begins the interrogation immediately using waterboarding. A towel is placed over Frost's face and water is poured continuously across it, creating the overwhelming sensation of drowning. Just before the victim runs out of breath, the towel is pulled away, only to begin again. Most people break within minutes. As Daniel steps forward with the towel, Frost looks up at him and calmly suggests bringing a heavier one.
600 towels, you need 600. Those are 350, 375 gram weight.
He is not bluffing. Frost once ran this exact interrogation method himself as one of the CIA's top operatives. Daniel ignores him and begins pouring water anyway. Frost endures it without flinching and without saying a single word. Then a blaring alarm rips through the entire building. The CIA team spots 12 heavily armed mercenaries closing in on the safe house from outside. The same group that tried to kill Frost multiple times has now tracked him here and is launching a full assault on the building itself. Daniel rallies his team to hold the perimeter, but within seconds the attackers blow the main entrance apart with grenades. Several CIA agents go down immediately. The ones still standing try to return fire, but the mercenaries are better armed and completely overwhelming. One by one, the agents are taken out. The mercenary leader steps forward and kills Daniel. Inside the interrogation room, Frost turns to Matt and tells him quietly that those men are here for him, and that under CIA protocol, Matt's only duty right now is to keep the safe house guest alive at all costs.
They're here for me, but they want me alive. You they'll kill. You're responsible for your house guest. I'm your house guest. Do your duty, son.
We're leaving.
Using a hidden exit inside the safe house, Matt gets Frost out of the building, stops a passing car at gunpoint, locks Frost in the back seat, and floors it. The mercenaries immediately give chase through the streets of Cape Town. Even on packed and chaotic roads, Matt drives at high speed with impressive control, and two of the mercenary vehicles crash one after another trying to keep up. Their leader fires directly at Matt's car, but nothing stops him. While driving, Matt calls CIA headquarters and demands backup. He is told under no circumstances to approach the American consulate. A shooting incident near the consulate could trigger a full international crisis. Matt is ordered to keep moving until a new safe house location is confirmed.
Kiefer, his team, everyone, they're all dead. Safe house has been breached. Look, I can make it to the consulate.
Can't have a gun battle in front of the consulate.
Do not go to the consulate. Reconnect in 1800 hours.
Secure the guests and stay off the grid.
Then the real problem starts. Inside the back seat, Frost begins working at his restraints. He slams his full weight against the rear window hard enough to shatter it, crawls through the opening, and lunges at Matt from behind, grabbing for the steering wheel. With no other option, Matt swerves hard into a nearby garage and brings the car to a sudden stop. He jumps out and immediately jams his gun into Frost's face, forcing him back under control. Then he orders Frost into the driver's seat and makes him drive. Sitting beside him with a weapon still raised, Matt demands answers. Frost stays calm and points something out instead. The safe house location was classified. Only someone inside the CIA could have leaked it to the mercenaries. Which means the threat is not just outside. It is coming from within the agency itself.
I think you need to consider how your house was attacked in the first place. That house was a secure location. They were invited. Someone told them, Matthew, didn't stop by a gas station and ask for directions to the nearest safe house. They're going to isolate you, Matt. You did a decent job, son. We'll take it from here. They're going to focus on you. They'll have something to fall back on in their little Senate hearings.
Back at CIA headquarters, Deputy Director Whitford, Senior Officer Catherine, and David are already piecing the situation together. Based on how precisely the safe house was targeted, they conclude that classified information was leaked from inside the agency. As a result, Matt himself is not ruled out as a suspect, and the CIA quietly begins monitoring Anna without his knowledge. Meanwhile, Matt brings Frost to another hidden location and uses a landline to call Anna. He tells her that some people threatened his clinic, and that is why he could not respond to her messages, still hiding the truth about who he really is. Then he asks her to look out the window. His suspicion turns out to be correct. Anna tells him a police car is sitting right outside. Matt immediately tells her to go somewhere safe, but still gives her no real explanation. When he gets off the call, Frost looks at him and tells him plainly that lies will not protect him forever. Matt ignores it and demands to know why the mercenaries are hunting Frost so aggressively. Frost avoids the question and points something else out instead. Matt is now a suspect in the eyes of the CIA. If he walks into the next safe house, the agents waiting there will not just be dealing with Frost. They will be dealing with Matt too. Then David calls and tells Matt that a new safe house has been arranged outside the city, but no backup can reach it for the next 12 hours. Matt is on his own until then. David promises that once the mission is complete, Matt's transfer out of South Africa will be approved.
We've cleared a new safe house for you outside the city. Get Frost to that safe house and you can write your own ticket.
Matt agrees and heads to a metro station locker where David has left coordinates and equipment. The new safe house is not far, but the route passes directly alongside a massive stadium packed with crowds attending a football match. Driving through is impossible, so Matt orders Frost out of the car and tells him they are walking. The moment Frost steps into the crowd, he raises his bound wrists above his head and starts screaming that someone is trying to kidnap him. The crowd erupts into panic, and nearby police officers tackle Matt to the ground before he can say a word. Both men are arrested and taken to separate rooms. Inside, Matt identifies himself as an American law enforcement officer and warns that Frost is dangerous and will try to escape. He is right. Within minutes, the officers check the security footage and realize Frost has already slipped out disguised as a guard. Everyone rushes out to chase him and leaves a single officer to watch Matt. Matt overpowers the guard, frees himself, and searches through the stadium until he spots Frost. Still dressed in the guard uniform and moving fast through the crowd, He fires a warning shot. A police officer immediately swings a weapon at Matt, and Matt shoots him in the leg to keep moving. Frost steps out from behind cover and aims a gun directly at Matt, forcing him to drop his weapon. As he moves in closer, Frost drives a brutal punch straight into Matt's stomach and raises the gun to his head. But instead of pulling the trigger, he fires a single shot right beside Matt's ear. The blast leaves Matt disoriented and partially deaf, with blood running down his neck. Frost walks away, leaving him behind so he cannot continue the chase. By the time Matt recovers, a red alert has already been issued across the entire area. After shooting a police officer, Matt is now a wanted fugitive. He quickly changes his appearance and disappears into the crowd. Once he reaches safety, Matt contacts CIA headquarters and reports that Frost has escaped. Catherine orders him to report directly to the consulate immediately. Matt pushes back and argues that if he backs off now, Frost will vanish from the city completely. After spending an entire year in Cape Town, he knows every street and back alley better than anyone. And right now, he is the only person with a real chance of finding Frost. Whitford shuts him down anyway. His role in the operation is officially over.
Now, you've done a fine job. We'll take it from here.
And in that moment, Matt realizes Frost was right all along. Knowing the CIA is already watching Anna, Matt goes to her directly and tells her the truth. He is not a clinic employee. He is a CIA agent, and everything about his professional life has been a lie. Anna breaks down completely. Matt tells her that his feelings were never part of the lie, and that is exactly why he will not let her stay in danger. He hands her a plane ticket to Paris and tells her she needs to leave today. Anna wipes her tears and says goodbye. Meanwhile, Frost has already reached a hidden location and quietly removes the tiny device from inside his body, the same one containing the classified information that set everything in motion. He cuts his hair and shaves his beard and steps back out into the city, almost completely unrecognizable. Back at headquarters, the CIA picks up an alert. Matt has accessed old files from his profile and is searching for information on local passport forgers operating in Cape Town. His logic is straightforward. Frost has no valid passport and no way out of the country without one. A forger is his only option, and Matt is going to find him first. Matt's theory proves correct almost immediately. Frost has already made his way to the home of a man named Carlos, a well-known forger and one of the top sources for fake passports in the region, the exact same name Matt pulled from his profile search. Carlos gets to work on the passport right away, but before it is even finished, Matt arrives at the house following the same lead. And moments after that, the mercenary team launches a full assault on the property. How these mercenaries keep finding Frost no matter where he goes remains the biggest unanswered question. Their first bullet hits Carlos directly. With his last breath, Carlos tells Frost to run. Frost has no time to save him. Within seconds, the mercenaries kill Carlos and everyone else in the house. Frost fights his way out, takes down one of the attackers, and makes it to the rooftop. He leaps from one roof to the next across the tin structures while the mercenaries fire relentlessly from below. Several of them drop to his return fire. But then, Frost lands on a weak section of tin and the entire surface collapses beneath him. Before he can recover, the mercenary leader jumps directly on top of him, and the two go at each other in a brutal, close-range fight. Blow after blow, neither man is willing to go down. Frost finally finds an opening, breaks free, and forces himself back onto his feet. The mercenaries open fire from behind as he runs. At that moment, Matt jumps out of his car from a parallel street and returns fire to cover Frost. He pulls Frost into the vehicle and they speed away from the scene together. But before either man can say a word, the mercenary convoy slams violently into their car and flips it completely over. Both men crawl out with minor injuries and sprint into a nearby building for cover. The mercenaries follow them inside one by one and launch another assault. Frost tears through several of them at close range, shoots one, and drops him instantly. Another mercenary puts a bullet into Frost's leg, but Frost kills him before he can fire again. On the other side of the room, a knife-wielding attacker charges at Matt, and Matt takes him down in a desperate physical struggle and shoots him before the blade lands. When the last body hits the floor, every single mercenary lies defeated. One attacker is still alive, barely breathing, and badly wounded on the floor. Matt grabs him and starts demanding answers about who ordered the assault. The man refuses to speak at first. Matt increases the pressure and he finally breaks. He reveals that he works for a man named Vargas, someone who operates directly on behalf of the CIA, which means the agency itself hired this mercenary team to eliminate Frost. Even the massacre at the safe house was carried out under their orders. The truth hits Matt like a punch to the chest. Matt gets Frost to a nearby clinic and treats the bullet wound in his leg. Once Frost regains enough strength, he opens up for the first time. He tells Matt that he was once just as clean and just as loyal as Matt is right now. But the moment he started killing innocent people, something inside him broke permanently and never came back. He tells Matt never to cross that line. Then Frost explains what actually happened. Years ago, he was ordered to assassinate an air traffic controller who had done absolutely nothing wrong. The murder was designed to cause a plane crash. On that plane was a man carrying hard evidence of the CIA's illegal activities, who was planning to testify in court. To silence him permanently, the agency brought the entire aircraft down, and Frost was the instrument they used to make it happen. Shortly after, when the CIA needed someone to blame, they turned on Frost and accused him of attempting to smuggle illegal weapons. He became their scapegoat. That was the day he walked away and never looked back.
George Edward. He was just an air traffic control. Inside officers said he was organizing armed shipment. Put a bullet in his skull.
Even after hearing all of this, Matt makes the decision to continue the mission and take Frost to the new safe house as ordered. The location is isolated and far outside the city. When they arrive, the housekeeper assigned to the site, a man named Keller, steps out to meet them. Matt is not ready to trust anyone. He keeps his gun raised and orders Keller to handcuff Frost. Keller follows the instruction and tells Matt he has already contacted headquarters and confirmed that a CIA team is on the way to receive Frost. Matt lowers his weapons slightly and the two sit down to wait. Then Keller offers to get Matt some coffee and points him toward a shelf nearby. The moment Matt stands up, Keller launches himself and attacks him without warning. The order to eliminate Matt had already been given. A savage fight breaks out between them. Both men strike each other with everything they have, and neither is willing to stop. At one point, they crash straight through a window and hit the ground outside. The fight continues in the dirt. Keller grabs a shard of broken glass and drives it deep into Matt's stomach. Blood pours out immediately. Matt refuses to stop. Fighting through the pain with everything he has left, he grabs Keller by the throat and does not let go until it is over. Frost has been sitting a short distance away the entire time, still handcuffed, watching the whole fight unfold without being able to do anything. Matt staggers toward him, barely able to stand from the deep wound in his stomach. When he reaches Frost, he tells him plainly that he is not going to last much longer, but before anything else, he wants the truth. Why did Frost come to Cape Town, and why is the CIA so desperate to get their hands on him? Frost finally tells him everything. The microchip inside his body contains classified records from the world's most powerful intelligence agencies, including MI6 and the CIA itself. Files documenting how these organizations ordered the assassination of hundreds of innocent people. Evidence of illegal torture methods, covert operations carried out in the dark, and proof that could shake governments to their foundations. After leaving the CIA 10 years ago, Frost spent years quietly gathering this evidence while the agency labeled him a traitor and hunted him across the world. Eventually, he tracked down a Mossad report that was being used to blackmail the CIA, which had ended up in the hands of MI6 agent Wade, and from there Frost obtained the microchip. That is why they want him dead. Not because he betrayed them, because he found out exactly what they are.
Why are you in Cape Town?
Dirt list, laundry list. Corrupt agents, German intelligence, MI6.
CIA?
Yes.
After saying everything he needed to say, Frost picks up the device and walks out of the safe house, leaving Matt bleeding on the floor behind him. Meanwhile, David and Catherine have already landed in South Africa. Using her local contacts, Catherine tracks Frost's movements and confirms that Matt brought him to this location. The two head toward the safe house together. But just as they reach their vehicle, David pulls out a gun and shoots Catherine from behind without a word. She drops instantly. David continues to the safe house alone and finds Matt barely conscious on the floor. He gives him basic treatment and waits for him to come around. When Matt opens his eyes, David sits across from him and tells him the agency is proud of everything he did. Then he asks who killed Keller. Matt tells him he did it himself and makes it clear that Keller attacked him under CIA orders. David shifts the conversation immediately and asks where the microchip is. Matt tells him Frost walked out with it. Then Matt lays everything on the table. If those files go public, people like David will be finished. And since Catherine was close to uncovering the truth, David could not afford to let her stay alive. At that moment, Vargas steps out from the shadows inside the safe house. He and David have been running the entire operation together from the beginning. The two are still deciding their next move when gunfire suddenly erupts outside. Both David and Vargas realize immediately what the gunfire outside means. Frost has already arrived. Outside, Frost moves through the compound and eliminates the remaining guards one by one. David steps out and finds every vehicle around the safe house engulfed in flames. Before he can react, a powerful explosion erupts and throws him across the ground. Inside, Frost comes face to face with Vargas. Without giving him a single moment to respond, Frost shoots him and ends it right there. Then he moves toward Matt because that is the only reason he came back. Frost knew the CIA would never allow Matt to walk out of this alive, and he was not willing to leave him behind. But before they can move, David fires from a hidden position. The bullet catches Frost in the chest, and he goes down. David erupts in celebration, convinced he has finally won after everything. But Matt, lying on the nearby bed, shoots David from where he is. Matt drags himself across the floor to reach Frost. In his final moments, Frost places the microchip into Matt's hand. He knows he cannot finish what he started. With the last of his strength, he passes the mission to Matt, making it clear without saying much that it belongs to him now. Then Frost dies. Severely wounded, Matt barely makes it out of the safe house alive. Days pass and he slowly recovers. Once he is back on his feet, he walks into Deputy Director Whitford's office and submits a full detailed report of everything that happened. Whitford reads it and tells Matt the report needs to be edited. Placing full blame on David would damage the CIA's reputation. He then offers Matt a major promotion. When Whitford asks about the storage device, Matt tells him Frost never handed anything over. Whitford warns him that if those files ever reach the public, every major intelligence agency in the world will come after whoever released them. Neither the CIA nor MI6 would allow that person to stay alive.
That's exactly as it happened.
Has anybody else seen this report?
No, sir.
Parts of this report are going to have to be altered. David Barlow can't be held responsible for what happened to the safe house.
Well, sir, you and I both know that that's just not the truth.
People don't want the truth anymore, Matt. And I'm recommending you for a senior case officer position. There's just one thing you need to clarify for me. Frost may have been carrying some vital intel.
I don't see why Frost would even mention something like that to me.
You realize, though, that if that file did leak, what would happen to the person responsible? He'd have enemies in every intelligence agency in the world.
Frost didn't say anything about a file, sir.
Matt walks out of the office without another word. Then he leaks everything to the media. The moment the files go public, the masks come off. Evidence of assassinations, illegal torture, and covert operations carried out for decades shocks the entire world. Whitford's name is on the list and he is arrested shortly after. Matt boards a flight to France. When he lands, he spots Anna sitting at a cafe terrace. After everything that happened, just seeing her safe is enough. The two leave the past behind them and step forward into whatever comes next. And with that, the 2012 Hollywood action thriller Safe House comes to an end.